A little while back on the channel, I checked out the Edifier MR4 studio monitor speakers and they really impressed me. Well, today we're going to take a look at another product from Edifier in the shape of these. These are the WH950NB wireless noise cancelling headphones. Let's put them through their paces and find out just how they perform. Hi guys and welcome to Kit Guru. As I mentioned just now, today I'm going to be giving you the rundown and my full review of the WH950NB wireless noise cancelling headphones from Edifier. These wireless cans will set you back 180 quid here in the UK, which isn't too bad considering they offer active noise cancellation, 4 built-in microphones for taking calls on the go, 40mm composite diaphragm drivers, they support high-res LDAC wireless audio. They've got claims of up to 55 hours battery life with fast charging that will net you a 7-hour charge in just 10 minutes and quite a few more features to be honest. Let's see if they check out. The packaging that these headphones come in impressed me a fair bit, I'll say that from the off. First off, there's the outer box which is really good quality, but it was the included case that really caught my attention when I first took it out of the box. It's really quite nice. It's finished in a dark grey fabric, it feels and looks really premium. It'll house the headphones and the included cables and adapter for connecting it up on a plane. Snazzy. You get an included USB-C to A cable for charging and a 3.5mm audio cable for using them over a wire rather than wirelessly. There's a really tiny instruction manual and safety leaflet, and when I say tiny, I mean tiny. Get ready to dig your magnifying glass out. Then there's a small snack for when you're on the plane that I mentioned a second ago. I'm joking, do not eat the forbidden crystals. All of the extras are stored in an elasticated pouch on the inside of the case and they all fit in there perfectly. It's quite satisfying when they all fit in there quite as well as they do. The headphones fold up nice and flat for storing in the case, and all in all it's a really neat package that protects the headphones well enough and will stop them getting scratched if you just throw it in a bag, for example. The headphones come in both the black model that I've got in front of me and then also a white version which dials up that gold accenting quite a bit. The black model does have some gold in the form of the Edifier logo slapped on the lower section of the headband just above where it meets the ear cup. I really like the branding on these headphones. It's minimal and it looks classy and it looks quite great in my opinion. Looking at the design in more detail then, black is the theme throughout on this model. The headband is brushed black metal and it sits on top of a protein leather covered headband cushion. The yokes are made from plastic, which if I'm honest is a bit disappointing at this price point. There's a slight amount of rotation and then as I mentioned earlier, the ear cups do swivel flat for storing the headphones away. Those ear cups are totally blacked out and finished again in plastic. The outer section has a textured finish that kind of mimics leather and it looks really classy in my opinion. Even though the headphones are mostly plastic, which again, I've got to say it again, is a bit of a disappointment at this price point, the materials all feel really premium. The matte black finishing and minimal branding add up to, in my opinion, a really great looking pair of headphones. There are only a few buttons to be found on the WH950NBs. The right ear cup houses a multifunction button which can be used to cycle through sound and noise cancellation modes, as well as activating a voice assistant when you've got it connected to your phone, like Google Assistant or Siri for example. Then there's a rocker button which is used to control track skipping and volume, along with answering calls and pairing the headphones with different devices. The controls did take me a little bit to get used to, but once I'd figured them out and I was up and running, I found it quite intuitive if I'm honest. These headphones are some of the most comfortable I've ever worn. I much prefer them, comfort-wise, when compared to the Philips Fidelio X2HRs that I've been daily driving for the past couple of years. The memory foam ear cushions on the Edifiers are really soft, and even with them being coated in protein leather, which I usually find quite stifling, I do find these quite breathable and very comfortable. They are removable, so they potentially can be swapped out, and I would have liked to have seen an alternative set included with the headphones. The cans weigh roughly 296 grams, which is about the same as a typical wireless gaming headset and a fair bit lighter than those open back Philips headphones that I mentioned a minute ago and that I'm so used to using. I'd be more than happy using these headphones all day for work. The build quality on offer from Edifier here is okay. The headphones use a mixture of metal and plastic in their construction, which helps keep the weight down, but then it isn't as strong as an all-metal design. Again, like with most plastic headphones and headsets, it's catch-22. How can they keep the durability up and the weight down? But metal has been used where it's needed most. The headband, sitting on top of that memory foam headband cushion, is a thin strip of brushed metal, which in my opinion looks really nice, as well as keeping the WH950NBs feeling nice and sturdy, yet it is flexible enough to fit anyone that chooses to pick a set of these up. Form and function is always nice to see. So now let's talk about the features and most importantly how these headphones sound and how they perform. The sound delivered from the 40mm composite titanium film drivers has impressed me during my time testing these headphones. They're not the loudest I've ever used, but the quality is there by the bucket load. Music sound rich and well defined. The bass is smooth and not overpowering. The highs are crisp, clear, and they just kind of sparkle. And the mids are well balanced and not too nasally. It has quite a vocally sound as it's standard before you tweak the EQ. The WH950NBs have LDAC codec support, with them being capable of streaming audio over Bluetooth at up to 96,000 Hz. This gives the headphones high-res audio wireless certification, and you can definitely tell when you listen to some tunes with that LDAC feature turned on. But one downside of enabling the LDAC setting is that you have to disable the dual device connection that can be found within the Edifier Connect app, which we'll go through in more detail in a few minutes. Now, as I mentioned at the start of the video, these headphones have active noise cancellation and it performs great. There are 4 different modes: high noise cancellation, low noise cancellation, wind reduction, and then ambient sound. And then obviously you've got the option to turn it off as well. But that ambient sound, the latter option, will allow some noise through so you can still hold a conversation without taking the headphones off. I was quite impressed with the performance of the noise cancellation, and several times my missus tried to get my attention and I didn't hear a single thing. I'll let you lot decide if that's a good or a bad thing. Now, I did try gaming with the WH950NBs as they do have a gaming mode, and this was gaming on my PC and I wasn't that impressed, if I'm honest. When connected via Bluetooth to my computer, there was a substantial delay when compared to the sound coming out of my speakers. So much so that it made playing FPS games unplayable, as the delay in sound when firing weapons was too off-putting. So I thought I'd try the cable. I plugged them into my interface, but was again disappointed to find all that functionality had been disabled and they were just plug and play, and they sounded a lot worse than when they were connected via Bluetooth. My verdict for if you should use these for gaming is a resounding no. And this was also the case when connected to my PC and trying to watch some Netflix via the Bluetooth connection. The delay caused the audio and video to be out of sync and it made the content just unwatchable. Now, my PC does support Bluetooth 5, it's built into my motherboard, but that doesn't seem to make any difference. But as I've mentioned in my previous videos, this is kind of just the nature of Bluetooth when connecting to a Windows PC. The latency is awful. So far then, my overall impressions of the headphones is that they're very good for listening to media via Bluetooth when you're connected to a mobile device. And I think that's the target use case that Edifier were going for. And that's where most of the customization can be done. So let's have a look at that in a little bit more detail. The key to getting the most out of the WH950NBs when connecting them to your phone is by using the Edifier Connect app. If you're using an Android device, then you'll be able to take advantage of Google's fast pair functionality. This makes pairing a breeze, and you can also track where the headphones are if you lose them. It's very similar to the experience of using AirPods on an iPhone if you've ever used those. So once you've got the headphones paired and you've got the app installed, you'll be greeted by a picture of the device on the kind of main screen, and then the option to change the noise cancellation mode across the bottom. The modes available, as I mentioned earlier, are high and low noise cancellation, wind reduction, ambient sound, and then you can turn it off altogether. The noise cancellation works really well, as I mentioned earlier in the video, and it really helps you get immersed in whatever it is that you're listening to. A swipe to the right will bring you to the sound effects page, which is what Edifier are calling the equalizer settings. There are two presets, classic and dynamic, and tapping on the question mark in the top right shows a brief explanation of each mode, something which is really handy as it isn't obvious when you first dive into the app and start messing around with the settings. There's also a customised EQ mode which allows you to set and adjust 4 bands of EQ, and you can add up to 3 decibels and take away up to 9 decibels from each frequency, which they're also customisable too, and you can even set a Q factor to adjust how wide or narrow the bandwidth for each frequency is. That I thought was really nice to see, as it allows you to really dial in the EQ that suits your tastes. Another swipe to the right will land you on the sound mode page with 3 modes available: music, game and theatre. The EQ is tuned slightly differently for each mode, and theatre mode emphasises surround sound a little more than the other modes. The changes between the modes are really subtle though, and I often found myself just leaving it on music most of the time. The settings menu contains even more options for customising the WH950NBs. This is where you'll find the setting for enabling that 96,000 Hz sample rate that I spoke about earlier, tweaking the controls and what the buttons do, enabling or disabling the dual device connection, and turning safe audio on and off, which limits the headphones to 85 decibels of output volume. You can also enable a shutdown timer so you can safely nod off with the headphones on and not wake up to a totally drained battery. And speaking of the battery, Edifier claims that the battery life for these headphones is up to 35 hours with noise cancellation active, and then up to 55 hours without, with fast charging giving you an extra 7 hours of battery life in just 10 minutes. During my use of the headphones, I never noticed the battery draining especially fast, which is something I'm constantly aware of when using my phone. It was years of trying to optimise and squeeze the most out of my phone's battery had left me with an annoying habit of checking the battery percentage pretty regularly. And thanks to the widget that's available with the Edifier app on Android, it was easy to check the headphone battery life at the same time because it's just there on the screen. That battery did come up slightly short of those claims though. Over my measurements and tests, I was averaging roughly 25 to 30 hours with active noise cancellation set to high. These Edifier headphones also contain 4 microphones to help keep your phone calls sounding as crisp and clean as possible, and they work great. I've made a few calls using the WH950NBs and they've all sounded great. I've had no complaints from the person on the other end of the phone. This is a quick sound test and mic check on the Edifier WH950NB wireless noise cancelling headphones. This is Matt from Kit Guru. Let us know down in the comments what you think of this mic. There is no post-processing done to it at all. It's just recorded straight through Audacity and then edited into the video. So let us know what you think. Cool. So then, in conclusion, I really like these headphones, but only when they're connected to my phone. Approaching this from a PC user standpoint would have left me a bit disappointed, but using them for consuming media from my phone is where they really came to life. The sound quality is really good. Music, movies and games sound great, and the overall sound is balanced and just it feels real, for lack of a better way of describing it. There's no over EQ'd bass and the default settings deliver a good sounding experience. The noise cancellation is good and does a great job of blocking out the world so you can really get into your music. The build quality is okay. A bit too much plastic has been used for my liking, but like much of the headsets I've reviewed, I can see why this was done to save on weight. It's just how they will fare over the long term, but only time will tell, I suppose. The design is great and I like how they look. Stealthy matte black products are a joy to behold. They are one of the most comfortable pairs of headphones I've ever worn. I'm not the biggest fan of leather style ear cushions, but these feel much softer and lighter than any that I've tried before. The headphones are presented well. The included case is really nice. The app has worked great for me and I haven't had any issues at all with it. It's simple and intuitive and it makes customising these headphones a breeze. So overall, if you want a pair of wireless headphones with great sound quality, good noise cancellation and a nice design for a shade cheaper than you'll find from some of the competition, then give these a look. I wasn't disappointed and Edifier have delivered some good quality audio for a decent price yet again. And that's it for the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like down below if you did. Let us know in the comments what you think of these headphones. And don't forget to subscribe to Kit Guru to keep up with the latest PC gaming news and reviews. There are links in the description to our brand new merch store, our Patreon page if you want to support us a little bit further, and our Discord server if you want to come over and have a chat to me and some of the other guys. These have been the Edifier WH950NBs. I've been Matt. I'll speak to you in the next one. Take it easy. See you later.